don't need the light. It was, for all of us I know, an amazing and inspirational day. Many of you were at the start, on the course. So many came back and saw the finish, and I know that's a shared feeling that we all had. First, couple of thanks that I wanted to offer. Our board. BAA board is a behind-the-scenes group of 11 individuals that provide so much support to our staff, guide us, just are there when we need them, and we count on them, we rely on them, we ask them, and so thank you to our board members. Are there any here today? I see a few up here. Thank you. The lights are a little bright, so I apologize. It's a little difficult to see. And to our staff. The staff is incredible. We're a 40-ish person administrative organization. Of course, we have a 105-person race committee. We'll talk about the volunteers in a minute. But our staff and that structure and the work that you all do and have done over the past 365 days, and how that built on the prior 365 days, and how that built on the decade before that. I am so appreciative to our BAA staff, and if even the media members could join me in thanking the BAA staff, and if you could raise your hand. Couldn't do it without the race committee, old school race committee, you know, coming together, every different area of the organization. People know their stuff. I was just downstairs with a couple of them, and just love what they do. There's such a passion for the work. Look forward to the wrap-up, look forward to, dare I say, the grind, because at the end of the day, when it all comes together and it plays itself out, it's so fulfilling for them as well. So thanks to the race committee. But most of all, not only thank you to the participants, but congratulations to the runners, to the participants. And we say the participants now because it's not just runners. We have wheelchair division participants. We have athletes who ambulate differently. Their mode may be a bit different. And this year, we had so many more participants in the para divisions and the adaptive programs. That was a huge highlight, I know, for everyone to see out there yesterday. So congratulations to all the finishers. Are there any finishers among us today? I'm glad that there are some, but one I know is right here on my right. It's Dave McGilvery, who kept his streak alive and was able to perform his work while also running again in the field. And it was joyous to see you cross the finish line yesterday with your family there as well, Dave. So thank you for being a huge continued part of the Boston Marathon. And the streak will continue. Throwing races played out across all of the divisions, including the 4 champions that we'll hear from in just a minute. We have 2 new champions we have 2 champions who repeated in Marcel and Helen, and then Sisai and Eden. We welcome you to the champions family. I'm excited to hear your reflections on the day after. We'll get to that in a second. The vibe, the vitality, certainly the weather has something to do with the feeling. Sometimes creates the atmosphere around it, but 25,000 additional finishers added to our record books, part of that alumni association feeling of having done the Boston Marathon. And I think that there's something to be said for, earning that unicorn medallion. We talk about it in the office a lot, how we are inspired as a staff, as an organization, to help people in their journey take the first step, get started. That's really our mission. And whether it be a community event, a neighborhood fitness event, or 5K, 10K, half marathon, it's not just the marathon. Of course, the marathon is where you see it biggest and boldest. Look on the unicorn here on the ceiling here. But to be able to earn their unicorn and treasure it in that way, that is sort of our North Star, our guide. So it was a hard day. Being at the finish line for a little while yesterday, I could hear people coming up to me and say, wow, that was hard. This was a difficult one. It was. But nearly 10,000 volunteers supported us and them all along the way, including 1,900 from among our medical team. Those volunteers truly are the heart and soul of this signature event for Boston. I think the volunteers differentiate Boston from so many other events. Every event needs volunteers, but having gone around to a few other events, our volunteers are really something special. And I also hear that from the participants. It's our volunteers that differentiate Boston from others. So thank you to the volunteers. I know some are here today. I also just want to say, the spectators were unbelievable as well. Yes, of course, during the prime time of the race, but even between I'm guessing it was between the 5 and the 6 o'clock hour yesterday, maybe a little bit after that, the way spectators were supporting the final finishes on Boylston Street, I'm not sure that I've seen that quite like they were last night, yesterday evening between 5:30, 6:30, and runners were still trickling in or coming in with big gaps, the final finishers. But the spectators down Boylston Street were still 3 and 4 people deep. That was amazing. Getting back to the medical side of things, our medical coordinator, I don't know why he's called a coordinator. He's been with us for like 48 years, and he's still called a coordinator. So we should have adjusted that, but too late now. Chris Trianos. Where is Chris Trianos? There he is. He's in the room here with his 1996 Boston Marathon jacket on. And he informed us a few years ago that it made sense to begin the process of handing off the baton, passing it. He's still going to be around to support. But Chris just yesterday helped lead and led our 4 medical directors and those 1,900 volunteers, and that amazing medical safety net that went from start to finish. And that doesn't just come together on race weekend or race month. That is a all year round job to put together that medical program. And wow, when the going gets tough and when things start to go awry or sideways, however the expression is, Chris Trianos is the coolest cucumber that you would ever, I've ever had the privilege of being around. And there are others, but in the medical arena, Chris, we so appreciate what you have done and meant for the Boston Athletic Association, the Boston Marathon, and all of our events. So thank you for leading a tough day yesterday, Chris. That's very nice. Very nice. That's warm. I love that. That's very, very warm. I thank everybody for recognizing Chris in that way. I'm glad you all feel it too. But yesterday we did have 2,954 medical encounters with participants across the entire event. So that's not just at the finish line, 3 tents we have set up in the finish. That's across the entire. We had 132 athletes who were taken to local hospitals, and 38 are still hospitalized as of around 9 o'clock this morning when we checked. None appear to be, none that we know of are in critical condition. This is within the normal range for a day like we had yesterday, which was warm. I think I was speaking to John a little bit earlier. Those of us who reside in New England, we're not acclimated. And so that's why most likely, Chris, if you would agree, we can speak to Chris and Stephanie afterwards individually if media members would like, most likely the reason. But yeah, the temperatures did climb into the high 60s, and there were 30 medical stations along the course that saw our participants along the day. So recognized some of the other groups, but one group I also wanted to talk about very briefly is our new presenting partner, Bank of America, and the way that Bank of America came in to Boston in its first year with us and hit the ground running and just added fuel to our machine. It's complex. It's a complex event to organize. It's not just a day. There are many, many, many events to it, which ultimately are intended to add to the experience, provide the experience, and make the experience as exceptional and as safe as possible. And the Bank of America team has been phenomenal. I want to show a short video first and foremost before turning the microphone over. But this video that we're going to see right now is a recap of the 128th Boston Marathon presented by Bank of America.
Grand Marshal Robbie G here in the house, ready to kick off the Boston Marathon here at the starting line. You guys ready to go? See you guys at the finish line.
It's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. That's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you for putting that video together. That is awesome. That's an emotional video. Michelle Barlow, Head of Enterprise Marketing at Bank of America, thank you for what you do, for what your team does, the extended team. Please join the stage.
Thank you and good morning. I have to agree with Jack. It's always really hard to follow a video, but that one was very emotional. Thank you, Jack. Thank you to your team, your amazing team. You talked about a year of preparation, and it was just about a year after last year's race that we agreed to become the presenting sponsor. We couldn't have been more proud, and as Jack said, we did hit the ground running, and I can't imagine a better team to have hit the ground running with than Jack's team, the amazing team at the BAA, the Board of Governors. Thank you to everyone, and I have to say a huge shout out to the extended team at Bank of America. They have just been terrific, and I couldn't do it without any of you. And I think that video just really encapsulated it, but what a race, what a day. I personally, I've been a Bostonian my whole life. I'm very familiar with the marathon, but obviously in the role that we have at the bank now, it just takes on so much more meaning, and I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate our very first year as presenting sponsor than what happened yesterday. It was just, in a word, amazing. I want to say congratulations to the champions, to Eden and to Helen, Marcel and Cissé. I had an opportunity to present the medal to Marcel, and that will be an incredible moment for me for a very, very long time. I'm so honored to be here with you all today and to celebrate your achievements. You know, this weekend, and as I said, I live here, but being in the city for the whole weekend, it was just such a celebration. It was a celebration of the spirit of this community, of this race, and of all of the people that come together to make the Boston Marathon just what it is, and that is just unique and amazing. I want to say thank you to all of the host cities and towns along the route, especially to the state and local officials, police safety. Jack just talked about the amazing medical team, and for everybody that actually helps to make the race so safe and so successful for the athletes, the participants, and the volunteers. A huge congratulations to the 30,000 athletes. We had over 250 Bank of America teammates who also ran. You're just such an inspiration. Your commitment, your hard work, the dedication, the hours that you put in. And as a lifelong spectator, I'm always just in awe, whether I'm at the start line or the finish line, especially on a day like yesterday, as Jack pointed out. I want to say thank you, as Jack did, to the nearly 10,000 volunteers. We again had about 200 Bank of America volunteers along the route. It's such an amazing event, and you know that when we send out the notice to ask volunteers to join, and within minutes, right, we had our full. And a long list of folks who said, if I didn't get in this year, can I please get in next year? And I just think that's such a testament to the race. The spectators, the energy was just amazing from the start line to the finish line. You know, Jack talked about it, just inspiring the runners all the way throughout the marathon just makes it such a special event. Always, so as Jack said, we were there kind of late at the finish as well, and just seeing the spectators that stick around to help those last group of runners come in, it's just amazing. I want to say a special thank you to the nearly 160 charities that were part of the Bank of America official charity program, and the nearly 3,000 runners that ran on behalf of charities. You know, just thousands of runners. If you saw some of what the bank shared throughout the city, we really put a focus on those charity runners, but importantly, the charities that they were all running for. Running to end cancer, to help an organization like Special Olympics, to remember a loved one. Just so many inspiring stories, and we wanted the opportunity to really put the spotlight on all of them and the amazing work that they do. Meb was just a great partner to the bank in all of the work leading up to this weekend, and I wanted to share a comment that he made. He himself is such an inspiration, but he talked about this race being a celebration of life. That was something he talked about, and he's just so right. It's about, the athletes, the volunteers, everyone that makes it happen, but it's also just about, the selfless runner that is, seconds from the finish line, and they see a teammate who has fallen down, picking that runner up and helping them over the finish line, or, the runner that has run his 70th marathon with a duo runner and doing it for a special organization, or the military service members who are running together. We were sharing a story this morning of a military member running in full gear, crossing the finish line, and then doing a lot of push-ups. Just so inspirational. So on behalf of Bank of America, all of my teammates behind me, I just want to say a huge thank you, and we'll see you all next year. Thanks so much.
Good morning. There were 25,616 finishers yesterday, and there were 4 at the front of the field, and we'll introduce the 4 champions now. We talk about how our theme was history in the making this year, and Eden Rainbow Cooper did just that. And in winning the wheelchair division in 1:35:11, Eden became the first woman from Great Britain to be declared Boston Marathon champion. She also went 2 for 2 this weekend, winning the Boston 5K presented by Point32 Health and the Boston Marathon presented by Bank of America. Eden Rainbow Cooper. Helen Obiri of Kenya earned her second victory in as many years, repeating in a time of 2:22:37. Only 6 women in Boston Marathon history have successfully retained their titles back-to-back, and Helen did just that. Helen Obiri. From Ethiopia, Sisai Lema ran one of the fastest first halves in Boston Marathon history, splinting 1 hour 19 minutes through halfway. He'd hold on over the second half and ultimately win in 2:06:17. Sisai Lema. And finally now a 7-time Boston Marathon champion, the Swiss silver bullet, Marcel Hug. He attacked the course from the very beginning, and despite crashing in Newton, still set a course record. Marcel's margin of victory was 5 minutes and 4 seconds, and his 1:15:33 course record comes out to a staggering 2 minutes and 58 seconds per mile for the entire 26.2-mile course. So Marcel Hug. So I'd like to ask each of the champions, how does it feel to be the Boston Marathon champion this year, and has it set in yet? We'll start with you, Eden.
It feels incredible. I really wasn't expecting it, so it's still all sinking in, and I think it's probably going to take a little while yet, but yeah, it just feels absolutely insane to know that I'm coming away with a win from Boston.
For me, I feel so inspired to become defending champion in Boston, and I was waiting that moment to cross the finish line. I feel so honored. My family was there watching, so it was an incredible moment for me.
All of you, hello all of you. First, just thank you for invite for Boston. Me, I'm happy to win yesterday. Boston Marathon course is very challenging me yesterday. But I won, and I'm happy feeling it.
Yeah, although I won already 7 times, it always is incredible to win. I'm definitely really happy with yesterday's race. very satisfied. With these perfect conditions, I have a very fast time. And as always, it was a great experience, and I just want to take the opportunity to thank Jack and Mary-Kate and the whole team for the great work, and all the volunteers, the sponsors, for giving us this great experience. Thank you very much.
Now, Eden, as I mentioned, you had a very busy weekend. After the race on Saturday, you said, I'll need a lot of luck to win the Boston Marathon, and you did just about everything right to pull it off. How did you make it happen?
I knew I had to attack that first hill hard, and for me that first hill is just all about being brave. You go really, really fast down it, so you just kind of have to be confident that everything's fine and you know what you're doing, and then from there it was just push as hard as I can. You never know when that pursuit pack is coming up behind you. So it was just, in my head I was saying stay calm and keep going, just don't drop pace and give it your all, really.
Helen, another Boston Marathon title and another sprint finish in the last mile. You like those dramatic races. When did you know you were going to cross the finish first, and how confident were you in your kick over that last kilometer or last mile?
Okay, I have been training well. You know, when you train well, you believe in yourself. You believe what you have been training for. So we had a race plan with my coaches, and we decided we tried to go after that 5K because I knew the ladies were so strong, and I tried to give everything, but the ladies was also there with me. So up to 40K, so I knew I'm gonna have this because there was still speed in my legs, and I used to do very well 800 meters, so I knew from there I'm gonna take the title again. Yeah.
Thank you, Helen. Sisai, you went out incredibly fast, as I mentioned, just over, a tick over 1 hour. Were you at all scared that you went out too fast, that anybody would catch you in that second half?
You was so yesterday. I starting by full confidence to starting because I prepare. My preparation is very good before after Valencia. So I do 2 quarter record, 2 break. This is my wish on Boston, but. Of course, it's very challenging me after after 30K. My confidence is to arrive me. There is no I not remember about that. Just I in the front to run or to in front 7 kilometers to remain to finish. I am very tired. That is the reality, that's why.
Well, you made it happen. Congratulations. And Marcel, as you said, it's an annual occurrence that you're up here. It's part of this Champions press conference. How did you maintain your composure after the crash in Newton and regain your speed to still eclipse the course record?
Yeah, for me, it was definitely a difficult situation, but on this moment, I was just trying to get up, back on the race. Luckily, the wheelchair was okay, nothing broken, so I could move forward. But now when I see the video, honestly, I think I can really be grateful that nothing happened worse, and I was able to finish the race even with the course record. And now still have some pain in my shoulders and my chest, but I'm really looking forward that it will be good good again in a few days when we have the London Marathon on Sunday. So yeah, I'm very happy that nothing happened worse.
And I think on behalf of everybody here, we wish you and Eden the best of luck at the London Marathon on Sunday. That concludes our Q&A up here. We'll do a few quick photo ops, and then we'll break down into one-on-one interviews for all our media here. So once again, the 128th Boston Marathon presented by Bank of America Champions.
And we can all applaud. There you have it, 2 repeat winners, 2 new Boston Marathon champions, 4 champions out of 25,616 finishers.
It is just incredible to hear them talk about their journeys along the 26.2. And we do want to give a final shout out to our WMUR champions. We are so proud of Sean McDonald, Marissa Tansino, and Andrew Vrees, who finished the race yesterday.
You will find so much more marathon coverage on WMUR.com, also our mobile app.